crib, presented by Hyundai. Jason Whitlock, Marcellus, Wiley. Happy day before Friday. Got a great show planned for you guys. Nick Swisher is going to join us here in a moment, and we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. We got two great guests we're going to pull up with. Patriots great, three-time Super Bowl champion Willie McGinnis is going to join us. And then he'll be followed by Emmanuel Sanders, the new wide receiving target, headed to New Orleans. The guy that got overthrown in the Super Bowl by Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to join us. We'll talk with him. But we're going to start with Major League Baseball and more developments as Major League Baseball tries to get back on track. The owners, of course, have made a proposal for an 82-game schedule, and the players have balked, or some have balked at the idea of splitting the revenue 50-50. The players have balked at that. They want a prorated version of their contracts. But Tampa Bay Rays ace Blake Snell wants even more. Listen to what Blake Snell had to say about the owner's proposal.
Y'all got to understand, too, because y'all going to be like, bro, Blake, play for the love of the game, man. What's wrong with you? Bro, money should not be a thing. I'm risking my life. What do you mean it should not be a thing? 100% should be a thing. If I'm going to play, I should be getting the money I signed to be getting paid. And on top of that, so all that money's gone, and now I play risking my life. And if I get the Rona, on top of that, if I get the Rona, guess what happens with that? The damage that was done to my that's going to be there forever.
All right, Blake Snell balking at the idea of playing for anything less than his full amount of salary. All right, we're joined by Nick Swisher from Tampa. Nick Swisher joining us from his spare crib in Tampa, Florida. Perfect place to be.
Yeah.
Nick, get us rolling here. Does Blake Snell have it right here? Do you have a problem with his comments about playing for a reduced pay in a half of a season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the judge and juror on this. I just know one thing as an athlete. Marcellus, you can back me up on this. Even if you do believe that, you just don't say it like that. And I think he was on his Twitch. He was playing his video games. He felt like he was in a comfortable environment, and he just went off. I don't think he thought it was going to get blown up as much as it has. Now, on the other side of things, yes, do you want to play for the love of the game? Absolutely, no doubt about it. But then, people need to understand there is the collective bargaining agreement is up here. There could be a stoppage of play. There could be a strike next year at some point. So right now, there is a major rift between the owners and the players. And I think somebody's going to try and make their point heard. Obviously, Blake Snell's the first one to pop off about all this stuff. I'm sure you're going to get some other people's opinions too. For myself, man, this is something we've never done before, right? We've never been in this situation in our life. You cannot be talking about money when 33 or 40 million people don't have jobs right now. So I think you can look at it from both sides of the thing. Obviously, I want sports back just like anybody else, but I also understand what Blake is saying about how he needs to make sure that they're going to be protected, right? I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people have lost their life because of Corona, and Blake doesn't want to be the next guy to have that happen to him.
Man, I love you, Nick. You're my dog, Swizzy, but I ain't got your back on this one. Look, I am Blake Snell right now because there's never a wrong time to say the right thing, and he said the right thing. Look, we have to call BS on what the Major League Baseball owners are proposing. Let's just be real about this. In March, they should have had the foresight to see how this could play through in all scenarios, and they came to the table with a prorated salary guarantee. Now, they want to take a cut and make it a 50-50 revenue split. Sounds great, huh? Except it's not 50-50. How much do the baseball owners make television partner rights? They don't want to talk about that. Wait a minute. So it's not 50-50. These games won't have fans. They're only going to be broadcast on television. So guess what? We're the ones taking the risk being out there. You're going to show it on TV. How much are you making from TV so we can get 50-50? Mum's the word from the baseball owner. So I love the way that Blake said it. He said, I am not going to go out there and take a lower salary and higher risk. You must think I'm Boo Boo the Fool. I am Blake Snell.
Listen, I think there's truth in what Marcellus said, but Swish, I got to agree with you. There's a time and a place for everything. Blake Snell has messed up the game. He's playing a game of checkers in a game of chess. The point you make, 30 million Americans out of work. Blake Snell scheduled to make $7 million. Half of that is $3.5 million for playing a game, for playing an 82-game schedule. I get where Blake Snell and these guys are coming from. I don't want to take half the money, particularly because I got to trust the owners. But how the average American hears that, the average sports fan, $3.5 million during the coronavirus for playing 82 games. I'm sitting out here jobless. The economy has been destroyed. I don't know how I'm going to provide for my family. It would have been much better for Blake to just simply say, hey, man, I like the proposal. I'm not really down with that, and leave it at that. If he leaves it there, he's made no mistake. He's expressed his opinion. But now you want to be the face of it? And again, you're down in Tampa. I just don't think this is going to play well. 2 years ago, he was the Cy Young Award winner, ERA, I think 1.89, 21-5. Last year, fell off a cliff, 4.29 ERA. The baseball fans in Tampa, hearing this guy after that season sound like he's greedy, ungrateful, even though he may be on the right side of this argument, it's just a bad play for Blake Snell and I think his Major League Baseball brethren.
Well, also, too, man, he was the first guy to do it. So us as the media, obviously, we're going to latch onto that, and we're going to try and pick apart everything that he said. On the other side, I'm an ex-player, so I understand how you want to make sure you get yours. I get that. I mean, I think that's a fair statement to say. But also, too, we are in some crazy times, and we've never been through something like this. I don't want to feel like I'm taking the owner's side because I'm not. But at the end of the day, like, you don't need to be the guy to say that, right? I understand Blake wants to step up. He wants to be a leader. And at the end of the day, he is. He's one of the best pitchers that we have in our game. I'm interested to see what's going to happen moving forward from this. What types of guys are going to stand out? The Clayton Kershaws of the world, the Mike Trouts of the world, the Aaron Judges of the world. I'm interested to see what these guys say. I mean, obviously, you're taking a risk. There's no doubt about it. We've been watching KBO baseball for the last couple of weeks. There's no doubt about it. We can definitely see that. I also think on the other side of things, going out there and playing in front of no fans is going to be difficult for some guys. For an emotional guy like me, running out in front of 20, 30,000 fans every night, that was the juice that the game brought. I'm interested to see how these players are going to go about trying to get the season going. And if they do, what's going to happen with the, with the juice, with the fans, what types of numbers are these guys going to be putting up? Because right now, for the first time in my life, sports stopped. And I need them. I need sports back. And I think we need to get creative in figuring out how exactly we're going to do this, because the owners need to understand they're not on the field. The players are the guys that are actually going out there and playing the games.
Yeah, and look, we just brought up the average American and the lens that they're seeing this through. Let's not talk down to the average American. Let's talk up to them and pull the wool from their eyes in terms of who's really greedy in this situation. It's not the millionaire players. It's the billionaire owners. They won't even come to the table with full transparency, but they want to negotiate. And I'm not a baseball player. I'm not a retired baseball player. I'm an athlete, and I'm in broadcasting, and I'm going to tell the truth no matter where it lands. And right now, baseball is trying to use this pandemic, a global issue and crisis, to try and wedge in something that they've never been able to do, which is basically give them a salary cap. We're going to restrict your earnings based on revenue. That's called a salary cap. And then you won't even give us the entire gamut of earnings, of revenue. Come on, y'all. I know it may sound insensitive. I know the average American is struggling, but the last thing I would want is someone else to suffer because I'm suffering. I will want this to be a level playing field. And I think the average American understands who's really the greedy one in this conversation.
The only thing I would tell Blake Snell and all professional athletes at this time, the only thing to be careful, maybe hold your powder, just tone it down. Again, you can have your opinion because, again, I believe Blake Snell, Major League Baseball players in the union, are on the right side of this. I think people have made great points in terms of let's go ask billionaire owners to step up their level of sacrifice in this unprecedented time. I would just say this, though. Once people go through the process of, hey, I haven't had pro sports for a sustained period of time, and then they see their economic situation change, Don't just make the assumption that everybody's going to come running back when things are normal like they always do. People can develop new habits. And will that be a mass exodus from pro sports or whatever? No, I don't think so. But pro athletes who are blessed to make so much in this country and not taking a dump on them or trying to criticize them, it's a